Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD Starcraft and I'm here to bring you guys another Heart of the Swarm broadcast. And this is going to be ZvT Cup 152's finale, and it's going to be featuring Empire.Kas as the red Terran player in the bottom right hand corner of the map, Newkirk Precinct, and in the bottom left hand corner we've got the blue Zerg player who defeated his opponent, HDreplays, I believe was his name. And of course that is the little one. He is now in the grand final, and this is going to be, I believe, a best of 5. So it's going to be a Terran versus Zerg here, and I am of course back casting these games. I'll be casting some more games following this, obviously, and if you guys have any sick replays, feel free to send them in to me at HDreplays@gmail.com. You guys will have to excuse me during this cast a little bit because I'm actually recovering from a pretty serious bout against the allergies. I actually live in a new spot now where there's a bunch of flowers and pollen and all that stuff around me, so it's gotten me pretty bad. So I do apologize if I have to take breaks to take water or anything like that. Hopefully you guys will be able to bear with that. Anyways, this is going to be a Terran versus Zerg. As I said before, these two players very popular, well known. TLO obviously, one of the top players in the world, and Empire.Kas, one of the top players on Team Empire. In fact, I've been casting several games of Kas before, and these two have fought against each other several times. The exact tournaments escape me, but I do know that they've obviously had a lot of games against each other. They're very well versed against each other's play styles. Of course, the little one, known for his creativity. In fact, in those games I casted against HDreplays, he did some pretty interesting, you know, it was like a Nidus inside the third location against Phallo's third, and the little one also just, he's so creative. You know, when he smells blood, he definitely goes for it. And playing against the little one, you've got to be prepared for just the unexpected. So hopefully Kas is ready for that here. Once again, this is, I believe, a best of 5. And it is the series finale for ZvT Cup 152, which is a weekly ongoing thing. They're actually on 153 already. So whenever I get some really sick replays from any top tier players, I'm always down to cast it. And of course it helps the community if you guys send in replays or links to me and let me know which ones you guys want me to cast. Once again, that is to HDreplays@gmail.com. Alright, anyways, we've got a Reaper coming out here for Kas, which is pretty much the standard opening nowadays against Zerg. And we'll see if Kas decides to throw down a, yeah, there's the command center coming up right now at the natural, and we'll see which way he goes with after this command center starts to finish up. Usually Terran players have a couple options. They can go with pure bio like they've been doing in Wings of Liberty. They can also go with mass factory and go for some type of like a Hellbat Thor siege tank strategy, which you don't see too often against Zerg, but it can work. And they can also just go right into quick starport for Banshee. We'll see what Kas decides to do, as we do have a couple of Zerglings coming out here for the little one. You'll note that the Reaper doesn't actually kill the Zerglings. Like, it used to be able to kill them in 2 shots. Now it requires a significant more amount of micro. And of course that means the little one will be able to get these 4 Zerglings away. He's actually trying to find a hiding spot for them right now. And looks like he should be okay. Those Zerglings should be able to make it back home safely, and it's unlikely that the little one will be able to scout with them, because now that there are 2 Reapers on the map, very unlikely that they'll be able to get past the double Reapers. And in fact, we can see Kas here a little bit worried about more Zerglings. He's just staying back right now, trying to see is there more Zerglings coming in, and he will actually see these 4 coming from the north. And as long as he micros this Reaper properly, it should not go down, because the Reaper is faster than a Zergling before Metabolic Boost comes in. And it doesn't look like the little one has started that upgrade quite yet. And it looks like, yeah, these Reapers have pretty much cleared the entire field out of Zerglings. And back at home, what do we have coming from Kas? He's actually going for a macro command center. Instead of going for, you know, one of the options that I had prescribed earlier. This is obviously another style too. You can just play super greedy and try to outgreed the Zerg. Typically macro CCs only work when you're versus against a Zerg player. It's very hard to pull it off against a different race. But against Zerg, most Zergs, you know, they play so economically that, you know, usually it is in your best interest as Terran to get that extra command center down. But the only thing I will say is the little one is known for creativity. He's known to be aggressive, and so this macro CC might end up biting Kas in the butt, depending if the little one tries to punish him or not. And as of right now, you know, he does have a Roach Warren. He's making a ton of roaches. So I do believe we might see a big Roach Zergling timing here momentarily, maybe within the next minute or so, because Zergling speed is still about a minute away. And so that Reaper, will it be able to see the roaches as they come out? No, it's not. The Queen is in the front door. It's going to prevent the Reaper. We've got Queens up near the high ground ledges as well. So these roaches are not going to be spotted. And, you know, there's a lot of roaches coming out. There's 6 already with 5 more on the way. The little one has no 3rd expansion coming yet. But there are currently Hellions coming through here. And the Hellions and the Reapers. Oh, the Reaper gets picked off by the Queen. Very nice. But the little one not able to save the Queen in the process. But I think, you know, that's good for TLO because he's buying himself time, doesn't want to let his roaches get seen early on, and now he's starting to push out with the roaches. And in fact, he's got a Baneling nest coming up, so he is going to try to punish Kas here early game by busting through the front door. Kas immediately preparing for the imminent siege. Is trying to get a bunch of supply depots, bunkers, and everything he can possibly get to fortify the front wall. But he is in a lot of trouble here. This is the problem when you go with the macro CC. Really, you only have a factory and a barracks to produce units out of. And I don't know if that's going to be enough to defend here, but he does have Widow Mines. And Widow Mines are going to help quite a bit, along with the bunker now being loaded. And maybe, just maybe, Kas can hold on here. He needs to bring his SCVs to help repair the buildings that are under attack. Widow Mine detonates on that pack of roaches, doing a ton of damage. But here comes the real threat. The Banelings are now starting to morph in. 7 Banelings in the back. And once the little one finishes up the Banelings, I'm pretty sure he's going to target detonate that bunker and try to take the bunker down and then follow it up with his roaches and Zerglings. Will it be enough firepower to break through the bunker? We'll see. Here we go. The Banelings starting to detonate. There are 5 more left. The bunker will go down. Bunker has been breached and the front door is now open. And the roaches and Zerglings now streaming in. It looks like Kas will have one more trench to fall back to, but he's unable to lift the supply depots in time. And now he's got to fight this horde of roaches with just Hellions and SCVs. Doesn't even have the transformation servos, so he's got to fight and lose a bunch of workers here. In fact, he's lost 20 already, and that number continues to go up. Very nice play by the little one, sniffing weakness in his opponent. And I don't even know if he really ever scouted the macro CC, but he just knew that you know, an attack would have a high probability of success. And in fact, you know, I think he's gonna win this game right now. I don't know how Kas will be able to hold this off. Ouch. Baneling detonation in that SCV line. They are very weakened right now. 30 SCVs have gone down already, and Kas is looking like he's gonna lose this first game of the set, and more SCVs are gonna drop here as they try to run back home. The supply depots block their path, and now, yeah, he should probably lift that depot up. Unfortunately, unable to do so. I don't see how Kas can hold on in this game. He does have a lot of Widow Mines still underground, which can buy him a little bit of time, but at the end of the day, you know, when you've got Widow Mines against actual units that can move and attack like roaches and Zerglings, you need, you know, Marauders, you need Hellions, you need backup units, and now he finally gets a medevac out, but at what cost? He's lost 50 SCVs already, and this game is starting to spiral out of control. I think the little one just pretty convincingly took game 1. Which I've got to say kind of shatters the confidence of Kas a little bit, because that was almost like a total victory. No, you know, no prisoners taken. And in a way, it was kind of a build order strategy victory, because when you go macro command center, you leave yourself vulnerable to something like this, a 2-base roach, you know, Baneling, Zergling all in, and I think actually Kas will be able to fortify the front door here. In fact, it looks like the little one says, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and expand now, which is interesting. And because the little one decided to go for an expansion, his attack wave has been halted. And so in a way, Kas here getting a little bit of breathing room, but uh-oh, there is a Nidus Storm now coming up. The little one loves to use Niduses, and I believe he's got that Nidus in the main base. Yeah, there it is. So he definitely is going to fortify the front door to contain here with the Nidus. Meanwhile, though, we do have a medevac inbound into the Zerg airspace. Another Nidus coming out outside the 3rd expansion just to hook up all the bases together in case of an attack. And that's really going to help the little one, because with his bases hooked up with Niduses here, the dropship unable, I don't think it's going to be able to do much damage. Meanwhile, a lot of Zerglings trying to flood in. The Widow Mines were not burrowed. They are going to burrow now, though, and that's a lot of mines. Don't think that the little one will be able to break through there. Meanwhile, though. Units now coming out into the main base. The little one has a Nidus there, though, and that's what I was saying before. As long as you've got Niduses around, it's very hard for an attack to be successful. Here's another Nidus Swarm here, and very quickly it can unload reinforcements and protect this hatchery. Although the little one is a little bit preoccupied right now. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. Kas actually needs to focus on this Nidus Swarm first, and there he goes for it, and finally picks up the Marines, and thinking, I guess, about going for an attack into the main base now. What is the little one doing on the offensive front? It looks like he's still trying to find a way to break through this front door. No! His roaches are just not paying attention. They decided to commit suicide for unknown reasons. Meanwhile, Marines dropping off into the main base. They are forced to go back into the medevac, but I think Kas might just be working his way back into this game unbelievably. I mean, you look at the workers, he's only down by about, 30 or so, but he's starting to kill more drones here or there, and he's using this medevac quite nicely, and in the meantime, he's fortified this front door and hasn't taken additional damage, so maybe Kas has a chance here, working his way back into this game. I mean, honestly, guys, if he is able to come back and win the first game here, that could qualify as one of the greatest comebacks in Terran vs. Zerg history. Maybe not, actually. That game with Captain Waffles probably qualifies as the greatest comeback. But this would definitely go up there, top 5 for sure. We'll see if he can do it or not. He's brought his troops back home, so there won't be any more offensive attacks for some time. No, he's going to load everything back up. Looks like he just wanted to go with a massive drop here. Now, this does leave his front door somewhat vulnerable because he doesn't have that many forces. But the nice thing is he's got 2 bunkers, and they're lit up, plus he's got Widow Mines, so all of this is kind of invisible to the little one. The little one doesn't want to risk running units in because he doesn't know how many mines, how many units are inside the bunker. It's hard to tell, and so Kas is going to try to use that to his advantage and go for a massive attack here. 3 medevac drop. He's even brought some Widow Mines as well. There are Overlords coming in, but they won't be the first units to scout this attack. And here we go. It looks like Kas is going to try to take out this hatchery. Now, if he can get this hatchery down, I would say he's right back in this game. There are a lot of roaches and Zerg he's got to deal with. Oh, that Widow Mine was explosive. And while it killed off a ton of Zerglings, I think it hurt the Terran more than helped, because you have to remember the Widow Mine, the splash damage, it's 40 splash to all units nearby. And Marines, well, they've got 55 HP with combat shields, but they were already weakened from the stim and the fighting. And I think a lot of Marines there, if I'm not mistaken, in the heat of battle there, just went down to that 1 Widow Mine. That was pretty devastating. Either way, that 3 medevac drop force has now been depleted to just a small piffling army, 2 Marines and a solo Marauder. And here comes the little one once again with his signature Nidus Worm. Is going to try to Nidus the command center, the potential command center. And where is the CC? It's actually floating in right now. And it looks like Kas realizes, alright, there's a threat here, I've got to take this out and secure this expansion. I've been on 2 bases for far too long. Will he be able to do that? The little one right now trying to defend this Nidus Swarm. He does have Hydras on the way, but it doesn't look like the Hydra's going to come in time. So he decides to evacuate through the Nidus Swarm. But I've got to say, with Roaches and Hydras now coming out, that is going to pose a significant threat for Empire.Kas. Hydra Roach is such a powerful composition against Terran, especially a Terran who doesn't have any siege tanks, who's pretty much solely on Marines and Marauders. Unless Kas can figure out a way to tech up quicker, I think he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Roaches and Hydras are very, very, very good. We do have a couple of Overseers back here, which apparently were herded away to the corner by that triad of Marines. And don't forget, we do have a Viper on the way too. So the little one is going to have all the spellcasters he needs. You know, being able to use Blinding Cloud or even Abduct. I think he's probably going to focus more on Blinding Cloud in order to shut down the Marines and Marauders, force them to micro away. I do like also the Contaminate on the Engineering Bay earlier, just to prevent that armor upgrade from finishing up. But here comes Kas. He thinks he can make an attack here. He's not that far down in supply, to be quite honest with you guys. His SCV count isn't too far behind either, but these Roaches and Hydras, I think it's going to be a serious problem. Although Kas has so many Widow Mines here, we'll see what happens. One bad detonation on the Zerg army, and that's kaput for the Roaches and Hydras. And in fact, the little one now pulling back a little bit. He needs to use Blinding Cloud, and no, he doesn't get the Blinding Cloud off. He cannot get the Blinding Cloud off. It goes down to the Marines and Marauders, and the hatchery falls down as well. Big plays right here by Empire.Kas, and now he retreats through the minefield. Oh my god, strategic brilliance here, but unfortunately for him, the Hydras are coming in from all directions, and Hydras are just badass. I don't know what Kas can do. I mean, he did kill off a hatchery, but he's gonna lose a very large portion of his army now, and he has got to defend this orbital command at all costs. It looks like he does have reinforcements, actually. So this orbital command should be able to stay alive. Very nice job, I think, overall by Kas, but the little one, I don't know if he's that phased. I mean, he lost the hatchery. It is pretty devastating for a Zerg player to lose it, but you know, he's got another base over here, so he's still got that. I guess right now it is 3 bases to 3 bases. He is about to retake his next one, but I do feel like the little one is still ahead in this game. I mean, that last attack basically was a hatchery traded for half the supply of the Terran army, and we can see all these roaches and hydras now preparing to come in. They are 2-2 upgraded, same upgrades for the Marines and Marauders as well, but I think the little one just has too many roaches and hydras, and not too sure if Kas can hold on this time around. Miraculous player as he is, it's just too much firepower. It's too many roaches and hydras. His Widowmine's doing a good job detonating on the core pack, but now SCVs and mules will have to be called into fight, and that is going to be devastating to the Terran economy. He is now trying to get drilling claws, which would help a little bit. Look at that mule and that medevac trying to get back home. Oh my god! The medevac should have picked up the mule and boosted out of there. But too late for that, I guess. And now this orbital command under siege by the Hydra spines. More Marines coming in though. And Kas is just trying to valiantly fight off this Zerg assault. If he can keep this orbital command alive, he might just have a chance. And this is just an ongoing struggle. It's a tug of war. But the orbital command now taking a lot of damage. It is going to go down. And I think with the fall of that base, the Terran is pretty much out of the game. He just doesn't have any more money he can mine. And this should be the last battle. The little one, I think, is going to claim victory. And, you know, a really, really good game, to be honest with you guys. Kas almost came back, and I think almost had a chance to win it. Unfortunately, he has to GG out this time around. The little one does get the first victory of this best of 5, but we are going to go on to game 2 and find out what happens there. Really, really well played game by both of these guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is HD, and I'm signing out till game 2.